Hey everybody, my name is Christopher Green and you're watching Greenwave TV, alternative media television. And here today we are to talk about who controls the world. In fact, I was watching Luke Radowski. Luke, thanks for allowing us to use the footage, where he was interviewing Bryant Gumbel and said, "Hey Bryant, who controls the world?"
So, who do you think runs the world?
You mean besides my wife?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things that I could give kind of a smart-ass answer to. I do think there are areas of influence, but probably the usual suspects, who runs the world, financiers, banks, global leaders.
And he says, you know what, I can't really give you a legitimate answer to that question, but I think it's the typical players. It's the financiers, it's the bankers, it's the global leaders, it's our politicians. No different from the kings and queens of 1,000 years ago. You look at our capital markets and our system in general, which should be a very big and large conversation today. We're coming off the aggressive, bloody troughs of 2008, where the entire financial system literally bit the dust in a blaze of glory, only to be met by trillions of dollars worth of bailouts and Occupy Wall Street protesters that were pretty much hazed by Mayor Bloomberg for beating drums and being the stinky hippies that people like Newt Gingrich think that they are. But the question is, where does this leave us today? Because it appears that we live in this phony, atypical recovery. Yet yesterday, the Japanese Nikkei market was down some 7+% in a Japanese flash crash. Now, I remember the flash crash here in the United States because I was a former broker myself, sitting in front of multiple computer screens before I became a rogue international broadcaster / terrorist, depending on your perspective. And I watched the markets and the financial system literally crumble down to its knees as the sharks and the hedge funds blew everything up down to zero, only to receive a bailout and ride it the other way. People like Helicopter Ben Bernanke, Timothy Geithner, who are now exiting their posts. You see how the rats like to leave the nest, have been funneling in the meantime trillions of dollars, buying billions of dollars worth of mortgage-backed securities, and funneling this easy credit into the monetary system to keep it well lubed like a $2 whore. So where does this leave us, Christopher, you may ask? Well, it leaves us the same place we were prior to the crash of 2008, but worse. Now the bubble's bigger, approaching $17 trillion national debt here in the good old USSA. A fake and phony real estate and stock market recovery, operating on thin air, easy credit, and 0% interest rates, can only end the same way it ended in 2008. But this time around, it will make it look like a church picnic. It'll make 2008 look like a fun event. Millions and millions of people losing their homes and foreclosures and short sales and their businesses in bankruptcy, only to be met by wonderful socialized medicine in the form of Obamacare. Now more people are losing their jobs because of that. Our civil liberties, our Second Amendment trampled on a consistent basis, but why? And where does this leave our system? Because if fundamentals don't matter, if cash flow statements don't matter, if none of these financial statements even need to be considered in a world where the entire system has been fabricated, so what we need to fundamentally understand is that there is no recovery. It is entirely artificial. It is a lie. It is the sweeping of all of our structural problems under the rug. So a few criminal bankers, the Jamie Dimons, the Lloyd Blankfeins, the other rats that are soon to leave the nest, can make billions and billions, if not trillions of dollars. And the hedge funds can ride the coattails of Ben Bernanke's 0% interest rates and easy credit to pad their own pockets, to buy that Ferrari that they have their eye on, only to spoil the America and the great country that was created on brawn and capitalism and cutthroat competition. To leave that all behind in the distance, in the horizon, the sunset of America. A system that has literally crumbled and has literally disintegrated before our very eyes. Because Americans know, any smart American or any smart citizen of the world knows, it could only end the same way it ended in 2008. In utter self-destruction, in utter chaos, in a position and leaving the people in a position where there is no turning back this time. There is only paying the piper and bending yourself over as you take it up the ass from the man once again. Whether or not it's financial bailouts or the albatross of debt or the loss of life doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, it will be you that are sacrificed. Your family, your children, your kids will fight and die overseas to preserve a system that no longer works. A system that is entirely corrupted at the very core. Which begs and should be the most important question we're all asking. If the system is broken and if the system can no longer be trusted, isn't it about time we create a new one? I'm Christopher Green. You've been watching Green Wave TV, alternative media television, and I just delivered the Daily Wave. Hard-hitting and in your face. If you think this message should get out to more people, then please share it. Subscribe to us on our social media networks, YouTube, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and get it out to the viewing public. Peace.